here to talk about how I actually love snakeroot, and I think that might be a little bit of a minority opinion. At the same time, I just noticed that I actually have zigzag goldenrod. I've never had zigzag goldenrod before. That's exciting. This one's a regular canadensis, but I'd have to look up the name. I have never had that before blooming on my hillside, so I'm very excited. I got seeds, but I didn't plant them. They're still in a bag in the fridge. So that's neat. So all these little tufty white flowers. That's snakeroot. I feel like the leaves make it seem a little bit like it might be nettle family. It's definitely thrown me off in its early form several times. They start off a little clearer, so I thought it was clearweed until it bloomed the first time I had it up here. And as you can see, there's quite a lot of it down here, and yes, I have transplanted many up the hill as well. And by transplanted, I mean out of sidewalk cracks, not off my cliff. I do my best to only disturb cliff soil when I have a controlled place to put it, such as the terraces that I build. We'll go peek at a terrace so you know what I'm talking about here. Here we're coming up on one. Right here. That's one of the terraces, okay? So as you can see, there's just tons and tons and tons of, I really like this plant. Let's have a peek right here. Here it's in seed. It's got the little tufties. And they fly away like little dandelion seeds, you know. So, snakeroot, well, it's a perennial. There is a family of plants called snakeroot that are all very closely related. Ageratina. I'll spell it out in the title of the thing, don't worry. And they're native. This particular variety right here is native to the US. All these little white tufty flowers all around here. And they are not generally bothered by herbivores. However, if cows eat them, because apparently cows aren't smart enough to avoid it, if cows eat them or any other milk producing livestock eats them, the milk can become toxic and be very dangerous to humans. So these are also the source of what's called milk sickness, is this little thing right here. So our native creatures are much smarter than that. They haven't had the intelligence bred out of them like a lot of livestock generally is, and they avoid eating it completely, which has allowed me to fully protect and use it as a nurse plant. And so one of these got knocked down by something, and I'm just going to lay it aside. But here you can see that just about every tree that I planted, you know, without this, the deer are voracious down here. I can see, you know, a couple things got eaten here, but my cherry tree's still there, and the honey locust is still here, and that's a prime food type of plant too. And I was having a ton of problems down here with all of my crops just getting eaten up, to the extent that, here, come have a look, I'll show you how bad it is. Those pots, let's get a little closer so you can see what I'm talking about. These scraggly things, yeah, those. Guess what those are? Sunchokes, the same sunchokes at the top of the hill. Sunchokes don't get eaten by deer. Well, they do down here. They're very deer resistant, but whoo, the deer like to sleep all through here, and they just wake up and whatever's nearest, they eat it, except not snakeroot. And so I have been very happy to have the snakeroot around here, protecting my plants from voracious little critters that just want to eat and eat and eat. And it's going really, really well. It is a perennial root, so once it roots into a space, it's going to continue to have a more and more substantial root base. So that makes it excellent for places like a cliffside where you might be worried that the ground could start sliding, because it's the root mass that protects things. And it's also great for riparian zones, or riparian zones, to be honest. I don't know how you pronounce it, which is the area right alongside a creek, or if you're not from Pittsburgh, a creek. And that is a really good thing to have as well, because as the water rises, you won't lose the dirt. It's not just going to wash away everything. So for all those reasons, and for the fact that it's actually pretty easy to pull out when you get tired of it, like it's not hard to weed. It's not so substantial that you can't get it out. For all of those reasons, and just for the fact that it's a great pollinator in the fall, a lot of times mom's asters, whoops, ha! I thought I was zooming in on that and I just passed it up. Mom's asters like this one and snakeroot are the primary plants that are feeding our pollinators right before they have to go dormant. That and goldenrod, but the more goldenrods in your honey, the worst. Ooh, it smells like puke. You don't want goldenrod in your honey. It's a no thank you. So if you're raising bees, avoid your goldenrod. So that is one of the reasons that I just absolutely love snakeroot. We can go back up the stairs here. I still have to cut the sidewalls on these. Keep forgetting about it. And from here you can see that, yeah, I let one grow right alongside this particular hazelnut. And as the hazelnut gets taller, it'll intertwine. As this one gets bigger, it'll intertwine. It'll start to protect it from all these leaves getting nipped off. And then you can also see there's some I'm allowing, because I could weed these out. I could easily weed these out, but I'm more than happy to have them here and popping up out of the pathway in many places throughout the garden. But I like them well enough even that they're potted and available to anyone who is interested in adding snakeroot to their garden experience. But yeah, a lot of people don't actually end up enjoying this plant. I think it's just because it's a little wild. So yeah, here's a couple of the potted ones. There's one here and one there. And then there's all the asters too. And then alongside a bunch of calico aster here is also several more of the snakeroot. Got a whole cluster of them right here. I'd like to get this area more organized so that I can freaking find stuff. It's actually very difficult to find things. Oh, my bad. But yeah. Oh, and there's another one popping up out of the cracks right there. So that is snakeroot. A very favorite plant of mine. It's not of any use except for keeping the deer and the herbivores of whatever sort from destroying crops, and also protecting. Those plants didn't get scorched by the drought and I hardly watered them, so it also really well protected them from the sun and dryness damage by creating a little bit of shade, and I believe that's called a nurse crop. So yep, the rest of the little pops of color that you're seeing for the most part are just asters. It's aster season. They're cute, but I can only let so many of them go to seed. They're a little aggressive. They're much more aggressive than the snakeroot. Harder to get out by far. And then the reds are the amaranths. So we can go and have a peek at the view real quick here. Just have a look. I'm trying to get through my porch. It's a little crowded right now. I took out a bunch of Rose of Sharon seeds and I'm gonna cook them. Ha! Not eat them, just cook them. So, yeah, that's starting to be a sunset. It's really quite pretty. I hope you enjoy it. So that's a plant spotlight. Happy fall. It is definitely fall. And I hope you're enjoying it. Take care. Bye.